guys, we're back. And as you can see, we're eating healthy. I don't know if you can see that, but that's cholesterol right there. Megan's back at the wheel.
We had to wait.
Randy has the best lighting.
We had to wait a long time for fresh fries, and I think we had to wait for my chicken too because it's extra done. Because I think the people were getting fighting.
In the time that we sat at the drive-thru, we heard the girls' tone go from mildly friendly to potential tears to anger, and it was all very confusing.
It's true, wasn't it, Randy?
No, I'm part of the bosom.
What are you doing, Randy?
I took a minute. And our final...
We're in an abandoned parking lot of a former... What is this?
Well, there's red awnings, so I'm assuming it's a
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster or a Office Max, Staples, perhaps.
No way, it's too little.
Perhaps a home.
Probably almost home.
Close access to the freeway and the UDF. The UDF is even closed. What is that about?
I don't know.
It's 2 o'clock.
Can someone talk about our excursion today?
It's 2 o'clock.
Civil War
in
place.
Cincinnati.
Braving certain death, possible death. We traveled out into the middle of nowhere in Alabama. Hold on, right this.
Oh, I'm
there
sorry.
we go. In Alabama, to a site of a battle in the Civil War. Crooked Creek.
More.
We were greeted by 2 basset-looking hound dogs. And
They kept dragging their genitals on the grass.
Unfortunately for them.
Sorry, but it's true.
Yeah.
And the dogs barked, which brought out the kind owner who lived by himself.
And founder.
And founder, Fred.
Crooked Creek.
Though he never actually introduced himself, we just gleaned that knowledge from the cards that he gave us afterward.
After an hour and a half with him.
Yes. And he also had on Confederate flag socks. And I took a picture of them.
Several.
Of which he was unaware.
Then Fred proceeded to tell us the story of Crooked Creek and showed us his little museum.
He really didn't, though, did he?
He didn't really. He assumed that we knew the Battle of Crooked Creek, which is not true.
He showed us a diagrama of it, though.
A grandma?
Model grandma? Model?
And even though those kind people made it for him and spent hours, he was kind of miffed that they put a top on it because you couldn't see anything.
It's covered in plexiglass.
And I made a joke about digging flies out, and he really liked it.
And there was a
dead
dead moth in it.
At the time.
Yes. But I wasn't going after it because it seems like a lot of work. And he had us, he talked about how you can touch and interact with the specimens, the historical specimens, the memorabilia.
I think it's like a sperm donor or something.
In his museum that was made of a restored, quote-unquote, what was it?
Barn?
Trailer? Barn. And everything was out in the open air, rotting away and being damaged. Anyway.
I held a $16,000 rifle and put a goofy hat on.
We have pictures to prove it.
Yours was 16?
I don't know how much money.
He gave me the 6. He probably thought I was a woman and couldn't handle it.
No, he definitely gave me the nicer stuff the entire time.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Typical
I was the first one to
Southern.
get the... Well, like, he got out the gun, and I was the first one he let hold it. And you're clearly the one who cared the most.
The only
one who was really following it. I cared a little bit, but...
He did keep calling me hun, though. That probably means I'm a stupid youngin'.
Sorry.
It's okay, man.
He called me hun a couple times.
Hey, hun. So we got our pictures taken, dressed up as Confederates, though we are all Yankees. And then we, after the...
Which offended some of my Facebook friends.
It's true. I even clearly told him that my great-great-great-great-grandfather was in the 5th Ohio Cavalry, which is not rebel.
After the tour of the museum...
Thank you, Randy.
he showed us the rest of the land. Well, not great.
Well,
The bed
pointed us in
and
the
breakfast.
direction.
Don't
What?
forget that. The bed and breakfast.
He then showed us the bed and breakfast, the inside of his bed and breakfast, which was not terribly exciting. And smelled
With a
of
really
mothballs.
sturdy bed.
A really sturdy bed and smelled of mothballs. Very strongly of mothballs, which is a big turnoff. And when we got in the cozy bed and breakfast, there were wasps flying around. Also not a big turnoff.
But the fireplace was cool.
And the
fireplace
wasps
was
will not
really good.
sting you. They are merely carpenter bees.
The wasps, the carpenter bees wouldn't.
Oh.
They were also like the world's largest carpenter bees.
They were gigantic. They were about this big. Then we went on a very nice nature hike through the grounds.
And they
Randy
had-
and Megan were very patient with me as I looked over the hillsides for buttons and bullets, and I was like, if I get one, I'm not going to turn it in. And then he later referenced that at the shop, but in an indirect way.
He probably heard you
I don't
say
think
that.
he had his hearing horn out to hear me. Don't choke. It's been a while since first aid.
Then we went back
Don't worry,
up.
I can do it on
He tried
myself.
to sell us some of his wares,
But not really his.
things he had acquired,
Just the books.
just the leftover stuff that he didn't want to keep in the museum. And Kara chatted with him about some things, bartered with him a little bit,
And to no
and
prevail.
then we paid $5 a piece for the tour and went home.
Did anyone agree that he should have tried to sell me something because I was obviously willing to give him money?
He was not interested in
But
buying or
but like
selling anything.
if he's talking about needing money,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be a great way?
That'd be a great
Was
way.
I foolish?
Well, you could use the funds raised
Yeah.
a more thorough survey of his land to acquire more.
Because they buried.
I don't know what this is.
What are you doing?
Oh, I looked around because I thought that.
Talk about the graves of the rebel
Yeah.
soldiers.
Yeah. He kept getting sinkholes in his yard
And ghosts.
and ghosts. And so they had a guy come out. I don't really remember.
He
They
wasn't-
brought the cadaver dogs out.
Oh, yeah, the cadaver dogs. And they found out that there were cadavers. And it was probably the, they dug trenches
No.
north to south. and
Graves.
buried them in trenches.
Nathan Bedford Forrest, that is. Who was also portrayed as a giant wax figure.
What was the name?
We got our picture taken by him, but you can't see him.
I know, I love that we were blocking it. I kind of wanted to sit on his lap or something. It was a very interesting afternoon. And granted, we were there for an hour and a half in the middle of a 20-hour drive, but now that we're almost home, I'm really glad we did it. It was a very interesting experience.
And by almost home, we mean 3 hours.
Well, since we're in Florida this morning, this is pretty darn good.
Uh-huh.
We are pretty close. And the ride home has been fabulous. Right?
And we took a road around Dothan.
Can someone hold this? I need to throw this away. Keep filming, though. It's really good.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't
Is there
like.
a dumpster nearby, or did I imagine that?
Leave it in the parking lot. No one works here. We're Americans. Do what we want.
I can drive back to
Are you
that.
being serious right now?
I
No.
can drive back to that trash can.
Okay.
Or you can just leave it in the car and we can throw it away when we get back.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna have to stop.
I like that
Yeah.
this is all filming.
Oh, thanks for joining us. Good night.
This is great.